The air tanker is a fixed-wing aircraft that can carry fire retardant or water and drop it on or in front of a fire to help slow the fire down. For the pilots, it's a dangerous job. Welcome to the Tanker 6-1 Wildfire Learning Center. Originally, the center was a memorial to Chuck Sheridan and Leonard Martin, the crew of a Douglas DC-7 air tanker, Tanker 6-1, which crashed while fighting a forest fire in Northern California.
Tanker 6-1 that this project is really about was a DC-7 air tanker that crashed in 1992, and the project started as a memorial to the flight crew on Tanker 6-1, Chuck Sheridan and Leonard Martin. Through the years, we've tried to add an educational aspect to the memorial project and actually renamed it the Tanker 6-1 Wildfire Learning Center.
The center also serves to honor all those who have lost their lives and loved ones fighting fires.
Both Chuck and Leonard were interested in educating people about fire. They used to give kids tours of their airplane, and they really liked showing people what they do. And we want to honor that by continuing that idea. In
their memory, the Learning Center's goal is to educate the public about wildland fire suppression and prevention. The center is a small two-story building that was constructed in 1994 through fundraising and donations. In 2008, a vision of the memorial building as a location for the public to learn about firefighting prompted the creation of the Tanker 6 Memorial Association.
Because the two pilots were locals, they wanted to do something in their memory, and that's how the memorial was built in the first place.
In 2010, the Tanker 6 Association formed a partnership agreement with the Forest Service. In September of 2018, the Learning Center received a donation of a retired air tanker, Tanker 6, a Lockheed P-2V Neptune, to be installed as a static display at the center.
It's a total fluke. In 2017 was the last year that these P-2Vs flew, and my wife, Marcia, happened to be talking to one of the mechanics on the aircraft, and he told her about how 6 of these aircraft were going to be donated to a nonprofit. Lo and behold, we got a call January the following year, and they said they had Tanker 6 for us. And we were totally excited and then also nervous because we didn't know what we had just got ourselves into.
Today, the Tanker 6 Memorial Association continues to promote public awareness about fire suppression and is today exploring ways to increase the value of its service to resource protection agencies by adding fire prevention to its message. To be effective, the pilots must fly the large aircraft only 200 feet above the treetops. The process is very visual and requires vigilance and skill.
You take off and you climb at 170 knots with the jets going. You get to cruise and you reduce the power on the jets and shut them down. And in cruise, you're flying about 155, so you lose about 15 knots and over a climb versus in cruise. So
all over the world during summer, pilots must make these spectacularly low flights to help halt the flames. When the retardant is dumped, it can be a spectacular sight. What does it take to fight fires from the air?
Well, of course, I've never flown one, but what they tell me is that it's more fun than normal flying, like commercial flying. From point to point, they get to fly a large aircraft low to the ground and fast and in a manner that they'd probably be cited for if they were flying anything else.
Well, a pilot worth the salt that is working an airplane, at the end of the day, they'll go out and pat it on its belly and say, "Good girl."
Since the 50s, air tankers have been valuable weapons in the fight against wildfire. Laying down a red line of fire retardant chemicals to slow the fire's progress, air tankers allow crews on the ground to gain the upper hand. In the early days, many air tankers were former military aircraft that were converted to firefighting. As time went by, these older airplanes had to be replaced by newer aircraft as maintenance issues increased and parts became hard to find. Of these old warbirds turned firefighter air tankers, one of the last to be retired was the Lockheed P-2V Neptune. The P-2V Neptune has a significant history and impact in the air tanker program. The Lockheed P-2V was originally built as an attack aircraft with submarine detection. The first conversion of a P-2V patrol aircraft to an air tanker was conducted by the Forest Service in 1969 in Southern Oregon. The Forest Service's Tanker 1 would be the concept prototype for future P-2V conversions. The history of the P-2V as an air tanker is a success story, but not without tragedy. It includes the loss of 9 aircraft and 20 aircrew lives. As a memorial to the lives of firefighters lost, the Tanker 6-1 Wildfire Learning Center promotes fire prevention and safety as a means to reduce the risk to firefighters. Tanker 6 is a Lockheed P-2V-5 Neptune aircraft that was converted to use as a firefighting air tanker in the 70s. Previously owned and operated by Black Hills Aviation in Alamogordo, New Mexico, the tanker was sold with the company's other P-2Vs to Neptune Aviation of Missoula, Montana. Neptune Aviation retired its remaining P-2V fleet, including Tanker 6, after the summer of 2017, and announced that some of the aircraft would be donated to nonprofit museums. The Tanker 61 Wildfire Learning Center was chosen to be the recipient of Tanker 6. On September 9, 2018, the arrival of Tanker 6, flown from Alamogordo to Klamath Falls, was an exciting event, attended by local leaders and agency staff.
The airplane is a P-2V Neptune. You know, they're made in the late 40s, early 50s as a sub hunter. We took them over as firefighting airplanes in about the 80s. But our company, this has been our backbone for 30 years, so our company took on the name of Neptune Aviation. Alamogordo, New Mexico was our P2 base for maintenance and everything, so we picked it up in Alamogordo and flew it all the way here to Klamath. It's a great airplane. It's really honest. It's built like a tank, which is, it's a nice thing. You know, it's built before computers. So it's complex. It's hard to fly. You got to have good muscles and a lot of stick and rudder skills, but it's just a blast. And I'm honored that, I get to fly an airplane that has this much history. So I can't believe they pay me to fly something with 36 cylinders and 2 jets and just say, all right, go fly low level in mountains. See you later.
On October 8th, Neptune Aviation mechanics arrived to remove parts from the aircraft, some of which will be reused. After 2 days of hard work, Tanker 6 was moved to pit number 3 to await site preparation.
Well, obviously we want to thank Neptune Aviation for donating the airplane in the first place. And they have been a great deal of help in actually getting it here and helping us get it prepared.
In the spirit of the Tanker 6-1 Wildfire Learning Center's vision, our goal is to provide education to the public about aerial firefighting and the air tanker program while honoring our lost heroes.
One of the things that Tanker 6 represents to me is the best gold watch anybody got for their career, because 30 years of working around air tankers, and I'll take this for on my way out here. That's a really nice present. So
Pilots stress that their aircraft are just part of the puzzle when it comes to fighting fires. It is these men and women with boots on the ground, with cooperation from nature, that puts out the fires. Pilots only operate in support of the ground crews. They act to slow or hold the fires so that the ground crews can get them under control. Never forget the power of what they're up against. What pilots see while entering the fire from the view of their air tanker cockpit is both frightening and awe-inspiring at the same time. A large fire can make you feel very small.